Good morning, everybody, or good morning, evening, whatever time it is. I hope it's a good one. Oh. Yeah. Good time zone, Jason. Dude, technically all the time zones exist at the same time. I didn't do that. I didn't choose that. I love to take credit for it, but that wasn't me. Alright, so I've been incredibly sick the last week and trying to force myself to get work done because I'm so far behind. And it's resulted in me getting more sick, which I don't know what I expected. But feeling better, going to be trying to ease myself back into getting shit done because I love productivity and I love getting stuff done. One thing that I will need to check though is I had to wipe my entire computer recently, which means that this is likely empty. Let's give it a look. No, it's there. Alright, perfect. Good stuff. I was so worried I'd have to go net decking or recreate all my decks and stuff, but thankfully, we're okay. Thankfully we kept the decks. It's nice, it's nice. Alright. I do want to try and jump in with some decks that other people have posted though, because like I am trying to get better at Infinity Wars Classic at my own speed, but I do acknowledge that at some point I do have to just kind of give in to, you know, those who likely know better. And there was a couple of deck lists that I saw, one from Ruff, one from Drew and B. I think I want to try this one first because it features Thea Wolfborn. For what it's worth, sorry about recent discourse, being really downer about shit. Not that any of it's wrong. That shit does fucking suck, especially when you're physically ill. Yeah, hasn't been good. I was, at one point, I was in bed shaking and I got notifications and they were just ripping into me personally. And while they were relatively valid, I was not in a great state to fully respond to them and I just felt awful. The last 2 weeks have been two of the most challenging of my life so far. But that's okay. Getting through it. Alright, so let's import this deck. No biggies. Okay, I don't like that it's got the same cover card, so I'm going to have to deck order. I'm going to remove the hulking snipers. Save. Come out. That'll do. I don't want it to be that either. Yeah, let's make it support game. So get rid of all the Timmy bots, save, back. That'll do. Now we add the little Timmy bots back and the hulking snipers. Perfect. And if we've done that correctly, it should still be. Yep, there it is. Let's jump in. I don't know why my health has been so much on the fritz in the last like 2 months. I've gotten sick more in the last 2 or 3 months than I have for like the last year. Something's up with that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should see a doctor.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, how we going?
Fine enough. What do you think of the last balance patch?
I have not even had the time or consciousness to look at it. Actually, that seems like a good thing that we could do on stream. Hold on, let's bring up the balance patch and talk some patch notes.
I'd say it was an absolute hack job myself, but
Oh, jeez. Alright. Well, we've definitely got some high hopes then. Alright, what if I put this here? I usually get sick like about once a month, or rather once a year. Totally fair. Alright, if I do this and go to the screen, that's not what I wanted to see. Oh, there we go. Now everyone, if they screenshot that, they'll know that I was looking up if Dragon Scimitar was worse than a Sarachenous Cudgel. I'm gonna get so bullied for that. Alright, what if I move this here, put this here? You know what? Close enough. Also, just as a bit of a note, I have been avoiding reading work-related DMs, so that way the notification stays there and I can actually look at them all when I'm better. Just to give you a little preview of what that looks like. Those are all my DMs at the moment. I will be getting to them, I promise. I need to. I have a compulsion to. I just don't want to do it while I'm not in the headspace to handle people and their problems. Because my job is to help, and if I can't help, then I shouldn't be doing my job. Alright, let's go through and read some of these. So, balance changes. Overall goals is to prepare the groundwork for the next set. Yep. Primary changes to Champions matter. Changing it to unique matters in Overseers and buffing Triple Flame Dawn. Nice. Complete any outstanding redesign / buff / nerfs, including Devil of Despair. Alright, cool. So we're finally getting Devil of Despair nerfed. Alright, Devil of Despair, redesign to 3 costs and morale. Demon, consume 1. Cannot be killed from non-damaged sources. Discard your leftmost card. Card gains 3/1. Gains untouchable at the turn. But only while deployed. Okay. So it's definitely being hardlined into command if you definitely want to make the most of that.
Well, no, it's punishing it as a commander, Jason. That actually is one of my main gripes with it.
Oh yeah,
it's discard decks.
It's
pretty
forcing
harmless.
it to be a commander or nothing. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you're wrong.
No?
Like it kills it as a commander.
Oh.
Because you can't activate it in command.
Right.
So it's totally pointless to run that thing in command.
Huh.
The command role is dead.
What? Yeah. How do? Hold on. Cannot be as being deployed.
So you can activate it anywhere other than command, because a command zone unit is not deployed.
So it's forcing it out of the command zone with an ability that specifically benefits it in the command zone?
Well, the ability works anywhere.
If it worked in the command zone, that is, with an asterisk?
What was that?
So it forces it out of the command zone by...
No, but so if you want, you can't activate the ability in the command zone. So if you want to use that ability, you have to cast it out of the command zone or from your hand.
Alright, noted.
So the command role of Devil of Despair is dead.
Also,
which I think is quite
haste
unfortunate.
because, you know, it doesn't work for command zone anyway, but you've made it a bad command zone choice. Interesting.
Well, in the past, it did work in command, and it was actually a really nice commander for Exiles to have access to, because other discard commanders in Yagron and Vanash are very expensive in Yagron's case, and want to just recycle his own card. Or in Vanash's case, Vanash is made out of glass. Discard decks have never really had a good commander in the past because of that.
Vinash gets
And that
sneezed on
trend
next
is
game
going
over.
to continue because of how Devil got reworked.
That's a shame.
It is. It really is. An entire archetype left for the dumpster.
Alright, what else we got? Champion overwork changes. So, first off, the champion type is gone. Alright, cool. Very strict. Warvo, yep. Bring overlap and overseers plus Flamedawn, cool. This is supposed to be resistance about the same power level. Keep a close eye, cool. Alright. Then Sun's Loyalist enters deployed area. Unique characters. All game +1/0. That's odd. How much does Soul's Loyalist cost?
Soul's Loyalist is a cost 2/8. It's a very bad card. It was very bad before the nerf, but it's even worse now.
I could see that having like some playability in draft, which doesn't exist yet. So,
Well, nah, even in draft you wouldn't like it because your early tempo is too important.
Yeah.
And it's not enough value late game. It's just a trash fire of a card.
2/8 body is a it doesn't have vigilance or anything, so it's a slow 2/8 body. Fair.
Yeah.
Very easy to get cleaned up. Alright, fair enough. Strength and leadership. Target unique character gains +8/+8. That okay.
Yeah, half of the champion specific cards kind of just got shifted to unique.
Alright.
Except for companion, which is an issue. We'll get to that though.
4 round champions, 4/4. When a unique character enters the thing, it gains +3/+3 and loses this ability. Wait, so it's a once-off now.
Yeah. The Forerunner of the Champions is weaker than before, but still pretty powerful because you can get some cheap 7/7s out with it.
It seems
Yeah,
like
so-
it just kind of front-loaded the power a little bit into being a turn 1 or turn 2 play, and then kind of killed it off later on.
It's a turn 2 play primarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's still Tempest into double champion, which is nice, but
Yeah.
Also, I need to quickly scroll down because I can't tell who I'm talking to. Oh, it's Game Peter! Welcome!
oh yeah,
welcome.
sorry. Hi, I'm also here. I came to listen to patch notes and complain.
I
about
remembered your
some
voice, but
things.
I'm sick and I couldn't connect the voice to which person it was, and I was like, who is that? That's a person I know. I like that person. Who is it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Alright, Champion's Herald. Flying, exhaust. Champion's Herald is deployed. Return Champion's Herald to your hand, then target unique character in your hand +1 less, and gains haste next turn. Alright.
I'm actually pretty happy with Herald ended up.
That one
Made it
I'm kind
useful.
of that one
How
I'm
much
kind of
does
okay
Herald
with.
cost? I don't remember.
1. Herald cost 1.
Okay, then yeah, that's actually pretty. That's actually.
Yeah, it's a 2/5. It's a 2/5 flyer body, which has been its use historically. But the haste and cost reduction can be nice, especially if you're anticipating stuff like mass deaths and calamities, as it can enable you to leverage some of your board pass value.
Welcome,
double check
BL3
here.
Jim. Hope you're having a
Quick little
fantastic
thing.
morning.
If you, I forget what it's called. If you Zephyr the card that makes a character unique. If you Zephyr a unique made copy of a card, do those copies also become unique?
Hold on. Does it copy stats over? Because if it copies stats, then it would copy key effects in my mind.
Yes, so it should.
All right, cool. There you go.
Okay, cool. Because that has use. Because then you could like Zephyr I forget what they're called, and I'm playing a deck with them right now. What are they called? The
Fire
multi-strike-
Ascension?
Oh no, not fire. I meant that too. But the other God, I'm gonna go read the card name once my thing loads. Higher calling is what I was thinking of.
Higher Calling's not a permanent buff, so when you Zephyr copy things, it would be lost.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think
so
it's
if you put like if you use say Secluded Constructor with Zephyr, you can't put 100/100s in your deck with Zephyr because it needs to be a permanent buff.
So
Oh, and higher calling isn't actually permanent, but Ascension is. It's in the hand.
I'm going to
Yeah.
move on to the next card here. Champion's Companion. Flying. While Champion's Companion is deployed, all angels you control have haste.
Yeah. Two things. It's a champion's card. Why does it not why is it not unique matters. Secondly, don't give all angels haste. Holy shit, please. Like,
That's... Huh. I'm really worried about that.
no. Yeah.
We're gonna have to
no.
make a Angels deck and just stomp people while this patches are out.
Yeah.
But the best way I've found to get things to get fixed is just rub in how broken they are.
Here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm don't correct. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure people told Ruben not to do this change when he asked about it.
I'm not 100% sure. I've not been...
I know you've been like literally AFK, but like
Mm.
from what I remember, this and you'll see further down the 3 Cobb changes were
Right.
things that Ruben asked people, and it was like, hey, don't.
But we'll see how we get when we get to those.
Yep.
Champion's
Oh, and you
Attendant. Reduce purity to 1p. Redesign text to when you deploy Champion's Attendant, you may overcharge it once. If you do, target unique character gain +5/+5. I guess it's not bad. A corrupted celestial dragon with haste go brrr. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's gonna be harsh. Oh, I
it's
hope I
two
never
wins,
face an
but
overseas
worse.
player ever again.
2 wins, but worse.
Alright, let's check this out. Heraldic, cost to 15-ish. Okay, so the cost is potentially getting changed up. Heraldic's cost is reduced by the number of characters you control that have attacked this game, divided by 3. So if you've attacked 3 times, it's 14, 6, 13, etc, etc. So I guess he really would work in rush tokens, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
As a 2015 with charge, that doesn't seem like a huge... I mean, maybe there's some... Wait, is Heraldic 3 purity? Or is he 2?
Yes, he's
He
free.
is. So we can't even, like, try and segue some sleeper shenanigans or anything in there.
No, no.
That's
Like
a
if
shame.
you're serious about trying to play Heldrick, you're going to be playing probably aspirants with stuff like Pier, Drill Sergeant, Quartermaster, and just flood the board with aspirants.
So this is another card to support the Aspirant meta deck style, which is cool, I guess. I just...
Yeah, the Heldrick change is nice, I'd say, actually, because in the past, Heldrick was so reliant on having a big board state that if you attacked with a board state that enabled you to play Heldrick, you've already won. Well, this way you can kind of grind away at the defense line with low morale cost creatures and eventually get Heldrick out.
It's not that bad. I actually like this.
Yeah, it's a pretty big buff for Heldrick.
Alright, we got Viz, who's now a 620, and that's just it. Cool.
Well,
I
also the
don't
rest of
remember
it-
Viz seeing much play before this, so I'm assuming this is an improvement.
Yeah, I'd say it
I
is.
never played them. I was
the-
never interested in that.
The biggest issue with this is she's really competing with Tulio, the Duelist, because both of them, their real use is a Fire Ascension one-shot, and Tulio will still do that job better, but this does have a niche somewhat now. She's not just bad Tulio. She's still worse than Tulio, but not to the same degree as before.
Worse effect, better body?
Tulio and this are both Fire Ascension OTK cards,
Right.
and Tulio just does it better because he doesn't require you to shred your hand to do it. Because Tulio naturally has multi-strike 3, and you can play him with a Siege Engineer 4 or 7.
Nice.
Well,
Welcome,
this
Cat
costs
Cats.
7, so you can't combo her with Siege Engineer
Right.
as easily. And you have to shred your hand, as noted, to get this to do anything. Now, that's not to say this is weak. Like, I think she's appropriately costed, it's just... There's a creature that does a very similar job to hers that
Yeah.
does it better.
Alright. Fiery Wish. First may change to all characters in your hand and deck. Gain stats, charge. Cool. 3rd. Target character also gets indestructible and multi-strike 2 until end of turn. I guess that's... What was the old first one? Was it just give things charge?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a buff.
Yeah, and third, Fire Wish is buffs all around.
Alright, cool.
That +4 attack is a buff, and the multi-strike is in addition to the 3rd mode.
I like that. That's not bad. Recovering from cow illness yet, Jason? No, I'm still kind of in it. I'm definitely on the way up, and earlier today there were paramedics in my house because someone else got the same thing we have, or I have, and because they're immunocompromised, it's really fucking them up, and they almost went to hospital. But thankfully, they're okay. Well, not okay. They're just not bad enough to need to go to hospital, which is nice. Things have been a bit crazy here. Right, Proctal, pay 1, exhaust, 4 damage to support zone, pay 4, exhaust, kill target, character, support zone. Ooh! Okay, I actually kind of like that.
Protocol?
Yeah, Proctal. I've always been, like, looking forward to, Flamedawn Snipers being a thing that comes back, and I was hoping for more cards, but I actually kind of like this bit.
I think her 2nd mode is pretty overcosted. Like, using Stumble, a command slot, and 5 energy to get a death rate is not good.
I think it can be potentially situational though, which is what I like.
No.
I like having options in my deck.
It's just bad. It's
Yeah.
a noob trap for bad players.
Oh no.
Because if you're spending 5 energy to do death rates, you're going to lose the game.
Shit, it worked. And as for KCAS asking who else is speaking, we've got Mew and Gamepedia hanging out at the moment.
Yeah, hi. We do be vibing.
Iberian's Apprentice. When Iberian's Apprentice attacks, character results on +1/+0. So instead of him getting the buff, he gives the buff to everything.
Including himself, but the buff is 1 attack smaller now.
So,
It used to be +2 only on himself, but now it's +1 to the entire attack zone, which
so
is
as long
much
as you
stronger.
have more than 2 other things there, that's technically a buff. Nice. Alright.
Yeah. Also,
I
it
like
spreads
that.
around the buff, so
I
it's
like that. That works.
better to have one. Better to go wide than go tall still. Just because you're less susceptible to removal.
Glory of the Empire. Moves on to Obeyed. Heart of the Empire. Depacification. When a character you control deals combat damage to the enemy fortress, that character gains +3/+0 until the end of next turn. Alright. So it's the wrong cost for over a year, nobody noticed. That's pretty funny. Alright. Mega/Ultra unit rework. Oh, interesting. Here we go. All of them are 1 purity now. That is interesting. Right. Reduce pilot ability cost to 0. Reduce cost to 10. Activated ability can only be activated from battlefield. Stats reduced to 28. Alright, 1p. Ability change to sacrifice artificial character until end of turn. Gains unstoppable, and when this ends combat for the first time, gains indestructible. Okay. I don't know if this is... I mean, this is an improvement, I guess, but... You wouldn't say that this is entirely playable yet, would you?
The Mega units, I'd say, are still all bad. Mega Unit 1 had the biggest improvement, I'd say, as being able to equip a pilot for free does enable you to rapid-fire Luca. However, I don't think Mega Unit 3 is playable in any capacity. And Mega Unit 2, getting its stats reduced as a nerf to the primary deck it was used in being Landstead. So I'd say of the 3 changed, Mega Unit 3 went from unplayable to unplayable. Unit 2 went from weak in a niche deck to slightly weaker in a niche deck. And Mega Unit 1 went from unplayably bad to you might consider Egg Unit 1 in a late game GI deck.
So it went from unplayable bad to bad.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
They're in a bad spot.
Welcome, Weaponized Autism. Did you know that we had an ambulance in our house this morning? Very interesting. Alright, we're moving on to COV. King removal. Struggles somewhat against value artifacts and locations. Yep, that's fair. Oblivion no longer destroys artifacts or location. -4 cost?
Yeah, I'd say that these changes killed 3 COV as a purity.
Yep.
It was already definitely the worst way to play COV if you're going to COV to get that third COV purity, but with Annihilate and Oblivion losing their artifact and location removal capabilities, the purity is just awful.
Alright.
It's...
So I can kind of see what we're getting at here, where we're trying to, specialize that the more COV specifically you go, the more it's about killing people and nothing else, but I don't know, it seems...
Something I think is a huge failure here, to me in particular, is how much this reeks of trying to just convert COV into black mana. Because in Magic the Gathering, black's all about killing creatures, and historically COV does have... They're the Mastery of Magic faction, so more so than kill people in particular. And I think Annihilate and Oblivion were a good way of highlighting that aspect of the faction. And it's starting to look like COV's just going to be turned into Magic the Gathering Black.
And these were changes that were proposed and people were like, I don't think this is a good idea.
When I was in 1%, every single person in it decried the Oblivion and Annihilate change, and that got forced through, which hence I'm not there anymore. There's really not a lot of point in hanging out to get ignored.
Alright, noted. Okay.
The 3 COV changes are abysmal. Champion's Companion also really stands out because it was pointed out so much. It was pointed out months ahead of time that it's going to be a problem. And even if it wasn't a problem immediately, it's such a volatile effect, it is going to be a problem at some point. And when one of the stated goals of this patch is future-proofing, adding an effect like that is just... It shows no understanding of the game. Haste is such a volatile mechanic to be handing out at that level.
Also, deployed conditional haste, meaning that you can stay safe in the support zone, or relatively safe in the support zone.
Yep.
Absolutely. Your Champion's Companion is... it's just such a volatile card.
Alright.
Now, changing it to Battlefield honestly wouldn't even change anything, because you'd keep it in support zone until you're using the effect. Because it's the type of effect that would be applied as soon as it was in the Battlefield zone, similar to Pack Leader. So, haste should not be given out in that volume for such a prolonged period.
Such an easy prolonged period, too.
Yes.
Yep.
Bit worried about that. Alright, cool. Annihilate. Kill target enemy character.
I'm sure you remember the old Annihilate. Destroy target, location, creature, or artifact.
Artifact, yeah. Its cost is the same?
It is.
It's just worse.
Huh.
I wouldn't say it's...
It's
I don't know.
It's a bit more situational now. There are certain decks where I can see this being a thing.
It hoses endless forward.
Yeah, my issue with it is that you're already running 3 Cov. The only way you have to remove stuff is... remove not creatures was Annihilate. Now all you have is forcing yourself to run the Vandalize or the Location Removal and Factionless, which are both bad cards because they're faction cards.
Yep, very much so. 3 COV is just not capable of going the distance anymore. Because they can't handle like as soon as somebody plays an artifact or location, you just crumple
Yep.
Alright,
like
so
a wet paper bag.
just to try and speak devil's advocate for a moment here, and I'm sure you guys have a response, I just want to know what it is. Do you think that COV having such high, strong niche power in the thing it is doing good isn't enough in the face of artifacts/locations?
What do you mean?
Well, if they have a location or if they have artifacts out, that's all well and good. They're still going to have 50 death spells thrown at their faces. They're still going to have mass death.
So there's a lot of cards like Shun Howl's or Chalice of Madness that totally shut down your deck.
Yeah.
And when you can't answer those in some capacity, you just lose. And 3 COV is a deck that has to play for very long games. So
Like I had
losing
a 3
to
COV mean deck. So I had a 3 COV mean deck. After this patch, I started to play it for a bit. I immediately got hosed by Chalice of Madness, and then again by just Bird, I think, not having a way to deal with my opponent.
Yeah.
Plus 5 resource.
And like 3 COV needs to have answers to things like that, or else it doesn't work because it's a purity that's all about running a long game. It'd be like trying to play DoD without Dojo. Like you're just doomed as soon as you encounter stuff like calamities because you can't maintain your board state without Dojo.
Okay, so here's a hard question. Do you think every purity should have an answer to every other playstyle?
No, absolutely not. But at the same time, I do think 3 COV shouldn't automatically lose to anything other than a creature. Because there's no purity in the game that only has creatures. Like, even 3 Flame Dawn, which is probably the most creature-heavy faction in the game, walks over 3 COV now. Because they have stuff like Memorial, they have the Paladin effects. Like, 3 COV can't do anything against Flame Dawn. They can't do anything against GI. They can't beat Warpath because of stuff like Ancient Eggs. They can't beat Exiles. They can't beat Overseers. Like, it's a sad spot to be for 3 COV. Now 2 COV has all of their tools still, almost, except for the 2 cards that were nerfed into the ground and Dark Wish, but Dark Wish is niche at the best of times. So, like, this just kills any reason you would ever consider going 3 COV.
Right.
Because, like, I could run 2 COV Flame Dawn and play Burn. I could play 2 COV GI and be Tinker and have that value over time and still have that incredible board control, which you were talking about.
Throw in Warpath
because,
and you've got access to Wreckful Walrus and Ramping. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Or you could, like, there's just better options.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to Mew?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we've got a bunch of people.
What did you think?
Nice.
Hi, you guys. Yeah, Ketkus. What did you think if, for example, Annihilate was still had the same effect as it did, but it costed more? Because that was an argument that I made that in a way you can give a faction with a weakness by taking something away from that faction.
So,
like, for example, you can't remove artifacts or locations anymore, or you can do so, but the cost is absurdly high or higher than the average.
So, the issue with that is 3 COV's already a weak purity compared to every other variant of 2 COV. So, you're nerfing a weak deck. Like, obviously that's better to do. I'd say that'd be better than what happened, but that still shouldn't happen. Because, like I said, it's a weak deck that shouldn't be nerfed. It'd be like if we just said, you know what, fuck it, let's nerf 2 Warpath Exiles. Like, 2 Warpath Exiles is, it's okay, but, like, nobody's gonna be winning a tournament with that. So, there's not really a reason to kneecap spawn right now, because, like, sure you could. Could we take away Spawn's haste? Absolutely. But there's no reason to do that.
I guess the follow-up question is...
I want to draw attention real quick to something that's pointed out in the voice chat text channel, because the stream isn't going to see this. Benyan just says, it's not that a faction shouldn't have weaknesses, it's that 3COV is the answers faction, rather than a threat faction. And if you're fully investing into COV, you should get to answer things, which is a real interesting way of looking at it.
And
kind of
I'd agree with that statement. Like,
yeah.
what I would
that
think of
seems
COV
logical and
is-
factual to me from my understanding of Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
COV has
and
always been, like, to borrow from Magic, they've always been like a giver, or like blue-black, whereas they are the control, like not necessarily the kill things faction, they're the control faction.
yeah, that's why they have stuff like Kidnapper, they had Hubris of the Strong, they have Altar of Binding.
Yeah.
Like, 3COV, to me they stand out as the Magic faction more so than anything else, because I think we can all agree COV has by far the best spells in the game across the board. And
Because
they're
that's their design.
like, their artifacts are bad too, and now that the Lone Keep's nerfed, their locations are bad. Like, you take COV because you want strong abilities.
It's a follow-up question to your previous answer, Mute, if I can. Is that you gave us as an example that Warpath Exile would be like okay, but no one is going to win a tournament with that. I guess the question is, should the criteria always be like, can this win a tournament? Because
I think
I
if you're
feel
nerfing a
like-
faction, absolutely. Like, when you're nerfing a faction, your thought should be, is this creating an unfun game pattern where you're locking people out of a game, like 2 Exiles Overseers of Solemns was with Haniki, which is why that got changed. It was just extremely unfun to play against because you couldn't draw cards. Well, or it should be something that is overperforming, like the Aether Acolyte nerf. Like, these nerfs make a lot of sense because there is a very solid reasoning behind them. Like, Aether Acolyte's just straight up overpowered, and in Haniki's case, it was just a toxic deck to play against that nobody enjoyed.
I get your point, but I don't know if I would necessarily associate fun, like having fun with playing a purity or faction, only with tournaments.
Well,
But
I don't think
I'm not a
anybody
very
enjoys getting
competitive
very.
player. Sorry?
Well, Haniki, once again, is a nerf of something that happened for fun. Like, Haniki was not a terribly strong deck. Where you were running Haniki Defiant Trickster's box and just repeatedly using Haniki's ETB to deny every draw from your opponent. Like, that was not a very strong deck, but it was very annoying to play against, which is why it was nerfed.
Yeah.
Which I think most players, it was just to improve the general player experience.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like the Oblivion and Annihilate changes either, but I would argue that, especially in the case of Annihilate, Oblivion is a very difficult card to balance, I think. But in the case of Annihilate, I would just increase the resource and try to distribute that weakness like across the board, and then offer new.
Well,
strong
I want to
options.
ask, why do you think Annihilate should be nerfed? Because, like, you clearly seem to think there's some problem if you're proposing to up the cost. So why do you think Annihilate should go up in cost?
Actually, I don't think. I'm sorry.
As a quick little note here, I do want to come out and say that I'm not that upset by Oblivion specifically, but taking out Oblivion and Annihilate at the same time, removing their tools altogether, is what I'm upset about. Like, if it was just Oblivion and Annihilate became the only way to deal with locations and artifact, thank you, sorry, still sick. If that became the only way to deal with artifacts and locations, I'd be a little bit understanding, because it's a weakness, but it's something that you still technically have an answer to without having to invest in shitty factionless spells.
Yeah, like, it's almost to the point, like, there should be some answers in faction. Like, I don't think anyone's saying take away Drake down from sleepers. or eaten by zombies, because that's
Yeah.
how they answer flyers. Like, it was pretty cancerous when Skyhulk was pre-nerf, because at that point Sleepers was the best anti-flyer faction in the game, but that
If this was
Very-
Oblivion being
yeah.
changed to not target locations or artifacts and Annihilate staying as it was, it would make locations and artifacts a weakness, not an auto lose. And I'd
That's
actually be
right.
kind of okay with that, because I've always felt that Oblivion was a bit overtuned. This does not feel like it's the correct way to go, though.
Yeah, that was one of the arguments that I made, I think,
Yeah.
yesterday or 2 days ago in Discord. We were talking about this with Gamepedia. That it's interesting, for lack of a better word, that now, like, the things that Oblivion can't deal with, can destroy, Annihilate can't destroy them either. Answering Mia's question, I don't think Annihilate necessarily needs to be nerfed. Like, they chose that one, so I went with what they chose in order to, like, make an analysis. That if you are going to choose this card, Annihilate in this case, to be changed, then I would argue increasing its cost is less worse than removing some of its features.
Well,
having said that,
I'd argue
I mean,
that changing the cost doesn't achieve the goal of Ruben, which was to turn COV into black mana. Because Ruben does not want COV to have that effect at all, which is why that change was done. Not
Yeah, no.
not that it's too strong, or that it's too much of a
And, like,
premium.
Like, my issue
Sorry,
with that is,
Stuart.
if he wanted to shift COV to not having that effect in like any way, there's an argument for that, but that argument also requires sufficient changes to other aspects of COV so that they no longer have answers to that stuff. They need to be stronger at like their other aspects, because you can't make a deck of purely removing creatures, because that's like making a deck with only creatures. It's very narrow and doesn't do much. If anyone has anything to...
Only creatures is much better than only removal.
Also, yes, true, but
You will eventually win with your creatures.
Just hang
think-
some shit out in support zone for long enough, and eventually they'll just run out of spells. Because they have to
do
play
think,
spells every turn, otherwise you get damaged.
yeah.
I do think that COV, triple threat COV, can do. Perhaps you guys go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't play that much COV, but from the looks of it, it feels like it could use some clearer weaknesses, and if you are going to do that, then you need to offer stronger options on other fronts.
That's
So
kind of what
triple-
I'm saying, but Triple Cov is already kind of weak itself. Sorry, you say it. You go.
So triple COV does have a defined game plan, and that is Oblivion, where you just stall and buy time long enough while you load your graveyard to cast Oblivion, and then you beat them to death with the Oblivion creature, or you burn them to death by recycling Dark Blast and Anger. So there is a win condition in triple COV, but
Siphoner, but
they
that's
need to be
like
able
trying-
to do that. And if they can't respond to artifacts and locations, they will not be able to do their game plan.
Yeah, I understand, and I agree for sure.
Yeah.
But
But the
my
way
point was
COV
that-
wins is Burn and Oblivion. The 2020 demon out of Oblivion.
I'm gonna
My
quickly...
point was that Furor as a faction seems like its own thing is that, okay, we are the answers faction, as Benjamin said, or we are the removal or kill everything faction.
Yeah, it's the spell faction.
There comes a point, I would assume, because I'm not in their design or balance team, but there's a point. I'm sure there's a point in which that concept limits your creativity. Like
I'm sure.
the example I gave is like, if in a set you introduce like, okay, in this set we're going to add just creatures to Roar. It will almost feel out of place because it's not like in line with the spell ability faction, and that's a kind of an issue because you should be able to do it.
I
Perhaps not
wouldn't.
the most resource cost efficient thing to do, but
I wouldn't agree
yeah.
with you
Sorry.
with that being an issue. Like, there is a lot of room left to design interesting and unique Varoria cards without nerfing Annihilate.
Oh,
And
sure.
it's just not. That's like saying, yeah, we got to nerf Lightning Bolt if we want to add more red cards to Magic the Gathering. It's just
Yeah,
not
I'm not
true.
saying that the Annihilate change was called for.
No,
I'm
I'm not
saying
debating that. I'm just saying it doesn't help with your stated issue at all. Like,
oh
Annihilate
yeah,
existing does not affect if we're going to add more creatures to COV. Like, we can add creatures to COV if Annihilate's deleted from the game, or if it's reduced to 1 cost. It has no bearing on adding
I'm
creatures.
curious if you had to add like clear weaknesses to the faction as a whole. Like, for example, I don't know, Sleepers can't deal with flying things efficiently by design. If you had to do the same thing with Roar, what would you choose? Like 2 or 3
So,
things.
Varor historically struggles to deal with things with any sort of protection or ability disruption. So, things like 2 GI, although it didn't show up in our tournament in October, is a hard counter to COV. They have tools like Disruption Sphere, they have Phase Bots, they have
Shield.
They have shield cards, like they have Mecha Dragon, all sorts of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have these tools, it's a very uphill battle for COE. Like, I don't think people necessarily understand how bad the GI COV matchup is because it's fairly rare to see. But 2 GI into COV is nearly unwinnable for COV if both decks are made well.
So my decks suck then.
Beyond that, more to the point, Varor it may be fast to answer things, but it is slow to provide its own threats that demand answers. It can eventually get those late game finishers, like the demon you get from Oblivion, but in the meantime,
cycling Dark
your
Boss
opponent
20
has
times is
all of the time to decide what they're doing to pressure you, while you can't properly pressure them.
Yep.
Indeed.
I'm going to start reading on to the rest of these balance changes because I'm sure that I'm going to get some.
Sorry, Jason.
That's all good. I'm sure I'm going to get some interesting takes and good feedback.
Yeah, sorry, I derailed the stream a bit.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This is the summit. We're here to hang out and chat and talk about Infinity Wars. That's exactly what we're doing. So thank you all for being here. So we've got Mysterious Box of Wonder has its increased cost by 1. Okay, so it's going to slow things down a bit, but Bok is already hella powerful. I think it's still relatively playable.
I don't think it did
I personally don't think it did anything to actually affect Box in any meaningful way, because, your turn 2 Box, not turn 1, is negligible.
I think this is a pretty substantial nerf to Box, actually. It's very easy to play a 1-cost spell without big commitment to it or screwing up your tempo.
Yeah.
But a 2-cost spell is substantially hard to fit in to cast.
2 cost.
And I think this is such a big nerf. Box will likely no longer be a 3-of staple as the same way it was before. As Box was so safe before because it had that 1-cost stumble as an option.
Yeah.
Well, build around abusing stuff like Haniki remain just as feasible. It makes it much weaker as a staple tool to Overseers of Solons. Which is why I dislike this change greatly. Because the spots where Box is problematic is when you're looping an overpowered deploy effect.
Speaking of, I've just accidentally skimmed ahead and seen Tabat. No longer flickerable.
That's
one I can agree
with. In Infinity Wars 1, the first game, and it's primarily addressed at Dojo, because with Dojo you can stack 3-4 Tybalts in it at a time, and do 36, 48 damage a pulse,
Huh.
which makes building up a board against it quite literally impossible.
Yep.
Which is why that happened.
And
Not
also
because
it's
of Fox.
very not fun to play against.
I'm
Like,
personally
Fox is actually
sad-
really bad with Tybalt.
See, I'm personally sad because I enjoy doing box to vault bullshit, and that's literally how my one deck exists as a player deck. So like, feels
God
bad.
damn
but,
you,
like,
Gamepedia.
That definitely felt like they were one of, if not potentially even the strongest card effect to try and flicker. I heard you say that that's the way that it worked in IW1, where you couldn't flicker in?
That is correct.
Yes.
Interesting, cool. So we're going back
You couldn't do
to
that
IW1
before.
design. That's not a bad thing, I guess.
But at the moment you
Acolyte-
can flicker Corrupted Suicide Dragon, which messes up your hand quite, well, your opponent's hand quite heavily, if I remember correctly. Right? Guys?
What was that, sorry?
You can still flicker Corrupted Suicide
Oh yes,
Dragon to
yes.
increase.
The changes to Tybalt,
Okay.
not to other things. So yeah, you can still flicker Dragon. That is correct.
Cool.
To constantly increase your opponent's hand cost.
Acolyte of the Altar, ability change to Sacrifice. Okay. I'm not 100% sure how that would change things. That feels like a minor change. Am I missing something?
It's a technical thing.
Just a technical thing?
Yeah.
Nothing huge here? Cool. Because like, I see that as just being a minor thing, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing some big part of that change. Okay, fair enough.
No.
Denial of Surprise, +1 cost. Interesting. I mean, potentially fair, but like, Denial of Surprise was already a bit difficult to get. Now it's... feels more
I
niche.
think I dislike the Denial of Surprise change myself. It was a strong spell before, but the reason I really liked it before is it punished Vigilance, Charge, and Haste, which are some of the most ubiquitous keywords in general. And by having a few cards like Denial of Surprise floating around, where you can punish creatures with those things, it creates more deck building options where you might want to consider running slower creatures in order to play around things like Denial of Surprise. And by weakening Denial of Surprise, that's just not as much a factor. It existed essentially as a hate card against one of the strongest mechanics in the game, which made it very strong. Obviously, its haste, charge, vigilance are popular. They're super strong. And having hate to that was good, I thought.
Alright. Also, Denial of Surprise was 2 COV, correct?
That is correct.
Cool, cool.
Did someone just really clown on Ruben with a Cult of Veror deck?
It seems that way.
That's
Could
Mind you-
have
very-
happened.
That's funny. I
There,
like that
there
a
was
lot.
there was rumors
Good.
back in the day that one of the biggest balance changes for one of these cards happened because Agent Coil got beaten with a niche deck and didn't have the answers to it, so he nerfed everything. That was bullshit, but I love the rumor. That's hilarious.
How do you know it's bullshit?
Because I asked Coil, and he's like, "Why would I do that?"
You know, fair. I think. I guess.
Look, I know that Coil is a very proud person. If he does something, he's not going to lie about it. He's going to double down. So if I confronted him and said, "Did you nerf this because you lost to it?" He would be like, "Yeah, but it's bullshit." That's the style of Coil. He would not have said, "No, that didn't happen." He would have said, "Yes, it happened, and here's why." So yeah, I 100%
I
believe
was
it.
right all along.
You know what? That's very valid. I can see that. I believe that.
Yeah.
100%.
Also, just as a note, I'm probably going to be sitting down and going over the VOD of this with Coil later on today, so feel free to say hi.
Hi, Coil. I'm sorry.
Hi,
People are
Coil.
mad.
Hey, Coil.
I'm sorry Gamepedia trolled you with Tivat.
No.
He is the reason.
Alright, let's move on. We got Cottontail, increased stats.
Oh,
Make
Cottontail's
ability
skill side.
free, but only once per turn while deployed. What was Cottontail's ability?
Pay 2 and no, pay 3, deal 4 damage to target creature on the battlefield.
So he just pops off 4s for free. Okay.
Yes.
But the
alright.
thing costs 7 resources and has a morale cost of 13, so it's still very pretty questionable 7 drop.
I still like the
Or
idea
any
of
deck.
big robots being a thing, just because big robots are fun. So
Big robots are
I'm
fun.
somewhat okay with this, just for the meme of it. It might
Sure,
not necessarily be strong, but I'm excited a little bit.
I'm just
happy to
saying
see
that-
Cosmetail change myself. He was really bad before. He's still probably bad, but
You reckon
it's
if we
less
nudged
bad.
his morale down to 10, that would do some good?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's less bad for sure. It's less
Mhm.
bad.
Everything
like the card
helps.
that just
Like if you up
Everything
its
helps.
HP by 1, that would help. Lowering the morale cost by 1, that would help.
All right,
Yep.
It
cool.
all
Yeah,
adds up.
Cool,
It
cool.
all adds up.
Also, Tinfoil says hello, Coil, as well. Just wanted to get that on the VOD. Big robot blasting stuff is real fun. I'd like them not to be entirely bad, though. Yeah, definitely. We can start moving towards that. Carrion Creeper. Increase stats by 0+3. Hold on. Carrion
His
Creeper.
change would be fine if it wasn't bugged, so you could play it for 2 cost.
Yeah.
But as a 2 cost creature, he's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. He's currently bugged where it's either you pay 1 and sack, or you pay 2. Where it's supposed to be you pay 1 sack or pay 3.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Carrion Creeper. He's the Sleeper's doggo, isn't he?
Yes,
The
yes.
rat, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But the card says that either you pay 1 and sacrifice another creature, or you pay 2, like 2 additional, to its own cost. So it's 1 cost and sacrifice, sorry, or pay 2 additional. But it doesn't say additional, but that's functionally how it
Alright.
It's
works,
supposed to work that way.
This
Yeah,
one
yeah.
this one I straight up hate. I thought that
Automate.
Carrion Creeper was already, even with his conditional deployment effect, was a fantastic target for things like Awaken. This is unnecessary. Dude's got Deadly in the Assault Zone, and we're giving him more stats.
Well,
Specifically
you can
health.
trade twice, which is kind of.
I'd agree he's pretty gross right now. because
He
when
was
you
a
compare him to
little
something
bit
like,
gross before this.
Like,
Yeah.
Carrion Creeper was really good even compared to Dirty Devil before a buff.
Mm,
And Dirty Devil's really good.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I would agree Carrion Creeper's probably overtuned right now, but...
Same
Yeah.
here. I agree.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Moving
Yep.
to
At least we all agree.
Dragon of Autumn
It is
Wind.
too damn good.
When you deploy Dragon of Autumn Wind, or it deals damage to the enemy fortress, draw 2 non-dragon characters that cost 5 or more. Okay, so this is no longer a generic draw. It's drawing high
Yeah,
cost.
It no longer
non-dragons.
has plunder too. It just has draw 2 creatures, which is
Huh.
on theme.
And no longer has haste.
That too.
Yeah.
Wait,
that's
its
the-
haste is gone. Oh, that's actually big. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was a nerf all around.
That's
I'd
a
say.
major
Yes.
change.
It's
I'm
a
very
pretty
happy.
big nerf to Autumn Wind, though I think it's a very good thing, because Autumn Wind was, by a wide margin, the best creature in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like especially for Warpath specifically, who like
Well-
while they had other
Or-
11
no,
cost
Beck.
things.
Now, I'd actually say it was best in COV. It was best
Yep.
as a COV creature with Beck.
Oh right, yeah.
Um,
COV
And also the
Beck.
fact that it's not unique.
it was just... Autumn
You
Wind
can
is
deploy
just...
7.
Yeah, it was such an outlier in creature design.
Mm.
Because it's
Like, it was
just
so
so much stronger than everything else.
Beefy.
Like, even
immediately
like
hit the
Helix
board,
Worm.
Immediately drew you cards.
Yeah.
It was like the questing beast of Infinity Wars.
Nah, Questing Beast is way weaker than Autumn Wind was.
Yeah. Wait, no.
I do actually think that this is decent. I would have been fine
I
if
think
it
it
was
is
just
still
the
good.
haste removal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's still good
I
because
actually
it has
like-
a... It has a pretty good ability front-loaded onto it, so even if it just immediately eats a death ray, you're drawing 2 cards off it and eating a death ray, which is good.
Yeah, you're going card
It only-
positive.
Only has
and-
so many of those.
So, yeah.
I like the change,
And-
and also you can like combo it with Onishil if you want to. If you wanted to have haste, you can play Onishil the
Yeah.
previous turn. So it works well within like the stuff being offered by Warpath itself.
Absolutely. It makes it a lot better in triple
Oh.
COV as well.
Sorry,
for
stream.
non-committed decks.
Yeah.
Oh, so it lets you look at other creatures again, like Helix Worm or Karak. who were creatures that were being totally overshadowed by Autumn Wind.
I mean, it's correct how you behave.
Like Crack and Helix Worm weren't bad creatures. It was just Autumn Wind was
The best creature.
significantly better.
All right, I
Yeah.
like this then. This is
Yeah.
This seems positive.
Better value.
I am
Yes.
gonna
Autumn
start
Wind was
theory
better
crafting how specifically I want to break Dragon of Autumn Wind, because the 2 5 or more cost could be potentially catered to. That could be interesting. So I'm gonna
You
start
could use
theory
it to fetch
crafting.
more Onswells and Helix Worms, but that would be probably the best.
I was
you could
thinking
do.
potentially things like pack leaders, and if you throw what's the factionless guy to copy cards again?
Zephyr.
Zephyrs and pack leaders, and just start playing out Dragon of Autumn Wind, and eventually you've just got like a 20/20 buff on all your dudes. That's gonna be crazy.
It does have potential, especially if you use those low cost beasts that the pack leaders are going to be buffing to hold the board down.
As a bad to mid-core player, that's the dumb type of shit that excites me personally. So
No, I'd say that actually sounds like a potentially useful deck.
Mm.
You just have to not die setting it up,
Alright,
which is always the question.
one of many exhumed, 3 cost, and -1 attack. So, it used to be 4 cost, right?
It did.
Yes.
So, this is...
I really think it should have lost an HP, so that way other 3-cost creatures could kill it reliably. Because as is, it's a very powerful tool for setting up your graveyard and stalling. Both of which are things Sleepers of Avarok really like. It's
Does
going to be
Sleepers
very
have
strong now.
Like, Sleepers has a bunch of 3 cost cards already, so it's competing with those now.
Well, most of 3-cost cards were bad. Except
I mean,
for
the main
Revolving Parasite.
goal
Like,
is like it's under 3 cost, but it can be resurrected by Hakeem.
that's right.
That
3-cost
was
is
the
a...
allure of their cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, didn't think about the...
And even with the nerf, Hakeem's still really strong. And Exium plays really well with Hakeem because it loads your yard for him. So he's going to be very popular in 3 COB. Not 3 COB, 3 Sleepers of Avarok.
Yep.
And by the way, speaking of stats, Dragon of Autumn Wind at the moment it's 25-25 instead of 30-30.
Oh, so that
Oh,
hasn't
yeah,
been
true.
changed?
I assume that's bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
bad.
is.
Alright, we'll likely see that changed.
It was reported.
Cool. Aether Adept, reduce base stats 4/4, reduce morale cost of 4.
If
Okay,
you-
fair
I
enough.
don't know if you
we
can
didn't really
edit
ever
that
play
patch note,
Aether Adept
but-
for the early game stats anyway, so that's not that bad, I guess. And it does give it a bit more of a weakness to Flame Dawn.
It does also have COB decks in command.
Mm.
Because there's a chance you'll be bolted if you're running at command.
Yeah, alright. So,
It
By the way, that's Aether Acolyte, right?
yes.
Aether Adept.
Yeah, but there's no Aether Adept. I think the name
Oh,
of
do
the
they
card
just mean
from the
Aether
patch note.
Acolyte and it just, they've
Yeah.
typed it
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah.
Alright, noted.
The one you can change it, but
Right, fair enough. Tigrish. Oh, geez. Alright. Change end of turn ability to require Tigrish to be on the battlefield, not deployed. Okay. I'm actually kind of okay with that. It does make him a lot more annoying as a card in hand, but at least it makes it easier as a
It
commander.
makes him not automatically win the game with a Lucky House Gambler, which is good.
yep.
Alright, I'm
I like the
kind of
change.
okay with this then.
Like, yeah, I'm sure you know House Gambler. 6 cost, when it deployed, reduce a random card in your hand by 7 cost. When combined with the old Ties Grunch, you play House Gambler, and if you got lucky, you just won the game.
Mm.
Because Ties Grunch won the game for you.
Alright, Empath, Battery, Redesign. At the end of the turn, if 2 or more characters you control have entered the deployed area this turn, your fortress gains 2 health, 2 morale. If one of those was a human, it's 4 and 4. Okay, so this
The
is
card
basically just
is
double
now
that.
worthless.
Sorry, what?
It used to be every time a character comes into play, it triggered.
If 2
Yeah,
or
and that battery's been
more.
nerfed into the
Okay.
ground.
So it's now no longer a single deployment, it's multiple. Even if it's
It's
double,
now
it's
once per
technically
turn.
less.
Is the issue
Yeah,
too.
I really think it should have still tracked how many creatures you deployed.
Yeah.
Because the reason it was changed was an upcoming card in the next set. I can't remember the next set's name. Anyways, there's a card coming up that triggers on life gain, and it was giving way too many triggers with that, so it was changed to a one-time trigger at the end of turn. But because it caps at 2 creatures and requires 2 creatures, it's useless now. It does not heal enough. It is too situational of healing. So it is bad.
So if this was changed to it keeps track of and heals accordingly, but as a once-off thing to not trigger that, you reckon that would be potentially okay?
Yeah, and that's what I proposed, but that did not go through.
Alright, I'll see
Because
what I can
fuck
do.
you, Mew.
You just won the fucking tournament. What do you know about competitive play? Fuck out of here.
Indeed.
How dare you?
What do you know?
I don't know if we can trust this guy.
Yeah, what does
I
he know?
know. It's a pretty shaky history, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. According to you, this game is rock bottom.
Yep. I don't know. That was in the past. That was 2016.
Yeah.
We hit rock bottom in 2016.
I bet you cheated, you bastard.
I thought rock bottom would have been 2017 when it was just as bad as 2016, except, nothing good had happened.
Did you read the rock bottom post, Jason? I know you got the old forums back online for a bit.
I don't think I did.
That's a great one.
Someone's
Full
gonna
of
have to
spelling
send it to me.
mistakes.
Or
Oh, I love
was
that.
that you just ranting about how the game was dead?
More or less.
Alright.
Pick for rock bottom.
We did reach rock bottom, yeah.
We'll have to
feel
go
like you're-
digging for that.
Wait,
I'll bust
Wait,
that
did you
bad
write
boy
all
out
your
if I
thoughts?
ever get invited to your wedding or something.
Yeah.
Seems funny.
That's a wedding speech worthy 100%.
Absolutely. Alright. Purification Stone no longer hits artifacts, locations, or the command zone. Okay. I didn't know it could hit artifacts or locations, so I'm actually...
That was-
I love how the Purification Stone nerf goes through. Because that, made sense. But then they nerfed Annihilate, like, Ruben. Or no, it's not literally just Ruben, but...
Well, it actually
Ruben.
is. He's the only guy who makes these choices.
It
Okay,
was
so-
originally me. However, during recent developments and stuff, Ruben actually showcased a lot of communication and understanding with the people that help us with suggesting balance changes and redesigns. And because
Now I've got
I
it
have
on
so
much
many.
shit.
I have so many things going on my plate that I was looking for an excuse to put something that I'm not great at on the back burner. And as much as I like being the project manager and having total control of stuff, I'd rather just focus on the things I'm good at.
Just
And
delegate
at the,
it to someone else.
Here's
I mean, to be fair, yeah.
here's a little bit of a sneak peek behind the curtain, guys. I've my role has been changing little bit by little bit over time over the last couple of months, and because it was gradual, nobody really noticed it happening until I got to a point where I wasn't doing anything that I was good at or comfortable with in my day-to-day work for an entire week straight, and feeling depressed and shitty because I wasn't doing a good job at my job, and it was starting to reflect poorly on not only my output, but, how well the company was doing. And it wasn't until I sat down and I was like, hold on, I didn't train for this. I
I'm the
didn't
community
learn
manager.
how to do this. What am I doing? And, we finally, right before I got sick, I sat down with Coyle and was like, okay, I'm not doing my job. I want my job back. And we're like, oh, right, that seems like a good idea. And we're going to be making changes behind the scenes so I can get back to community management and editing videos, which is the thing that I actually know how to do, so I can stop doing some of the... at the moment, I've spent, out of the 10 or so hours I worked last week before I got sick, about 5 of them was purely at looking at spreadsheets and writing in code in spreadsheets. I don't know how to friggin' do any of that. I had spent so much time Googling how to do basic formulas because I never learnt to do that. I never needed to. I make dumb memes. I make people happy. I do fun streams. I make jokes. I help communication. That's what I'm good at. Don't give me a freaking spreadsheet.
No, go fix the multiplayer bugs.
God damn.
Come on, Jason. Why don't you hot fix the Tome of the Dead bugs?
Tome of the Dead.
For example,
Yes.
I was excited when we got the mass reward granting tool out because it meant finally we could give Patreon backers the packs and the cosmetic cards that they'd been promised and had been like stored up over 1 to 2 years of backing, and now I need to configure a spreadsheet that showcases in a clear and concise way who was backing at what specific tier for which specific months. And
That's fucked up.
making that manually.
That's
like,
rough, buddy.
thankfully, this is something that I've like anticipated. I've been making this for 2 years, but unfortunately, human error is a thing, and I'm going to have to go through and sit down and make sure all of it is correct. And also, because I've had 50 other things thrown at me that are much more important than my day-to-day, I've kind of neglected the Patreon sheet for the last 2 or so months, which means that there's a huge amount of work that I need to do to catch up and be on square one to attempt to give the Patreon peoples their stuff.
You're going to be very busy, it sounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am so far behind on everything, and I finally, like, now that I've been able to actually talk about it with the people behind the scenes, I actually feel a lot better about things, because, like, there was this silent resentment that I was being set up for failure and being asked to do things that I'm not good at. But really, that was also my fault, because I didn't understand why I felt that way and I didn't have the words for it. And like when I actually went to Coyle and said, hey, here's why I'm feeling, here's why I think it happened, he was actually very, responsible and cooperative, and was like, oh, I completely see how that kind of transpired that way, and I'm really sorry. We didn't mean to make you feel that way. And that was actually really good and validating, because it, like, I don't want to think that anyone's doing anything bad purposefully, and that validated, no, this was not intentional, this was just a thing that happened, let's fix it. And we sat down and we talked about what needs to be fixed, and I felt a whole lot better about it after that, which is great.
That's good.
That's
really good.
I still have to get Intrigue physical rewards finished and shipped, and I'm hoping after that I can get back to doing my job, because I'm good at my job. I like my job.
Yeah,
And we can find
Jason
someone
had
else to do
therapy.
this.
It was good, guys. Jason had work therapy. Let's go.
Yeah, it was nice. And then, like, right after that conversation, I got incredibly sick and almost went to hospital.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
What are you dying of, Jason?
I don't know. It's a bug that I got from, I think, my girlfriend, and I've passed it on to everybody in the house. And there was an ambulance at our house this morning because the immunocompromised disabled girl
person was dying.
Yeah, she was not going good, and unfortunately had to call in ambulance peoples, and they gave him some medication stuff to help. They were like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I'm like, no. I'm like, alright, well, we can't force you to, so have fun, good luck. You know
Try
how
not
it
to
is.
die.
So the moral of the
I
story
just
is...
lost to cows.
You lost to cows?
I just lost to cows. So, okay, to be fair, I am playing 2 Exiles, 1 Sleepers symbiote deck, so...
That's a legit deck.
It is, but I don't have enough removal.
I have a cow deck that was created by, I think it was Frozen and his Rights Out. I can showcase that one real quick. So hold on, let me.
My cow deck has about an 80% win rate right now.
That doesn't feel right.
Let me show you.
I'm player of the year for a reason.
That's absolutely right.
Okay, so this
Cast
is
spells at the right time and you win the game.
Feel free to take a look on the stream. This is a deck that's just called Who Needs Factions, and it's a triple factionless deck, and it actually kind of slaps a bit.
Tell me it's the deck I lost to. It is probably the deck I lost to.
So
Do you got extirpates and calamities in there?
yes,
How many?
2 extirpates and I think a calamity.
Wait, why
none
is
of that.
Assassinate in that deck? Okay, replace the Assassinate immediately. Get that out of there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Get another extirpate. More
Why is
extirpate,
it-
more calamity.
More extra for clarity. Why is deflect in the stat? Deflect's kind of.
No, deflect's
70%
actually
of your
good.
deck should
Yeah,
be,
deflect's good.
That feels good. Martyr Golem's good.
So you just want to
Gotta
try
go,
and
guys.
get Zephyr out onto commandos, and then you've got a bunch of these 2 costs, and you just use Everly to buff them into Calmandos.
Yeah,
But
I think the triple Calmando command is better than Evely because it makes your useless cows 10/10 turn 1 if you give one.
Gotta go, guys. Talk to you
But-
later.
Catch ya.
Goodbye, Capios.
Adios.
Yeah.
I like Everly because it makes it more consistent, and it gives you like
I wouldn't
very
run
easy
Evelyn
wins.
main deck either because you just don't want to play her main deck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
I've started including a main deck because I've found that if someone shoots down my Everly, this deck really stalls out, and it's very easy for you to take out. Whoop.
Hey,
Shouldn't do
Jason,
that.
what's Warrior Cow?
Sorry?
You have a card called Warrior Cow
Oh,
in your
the,
thing.
oh, Warrior
Next-
Cow. Yeah, don't worry
next
about
time.
this. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. It's not a thing. Don't worry about it.
I know it's not, but
That's
it's
a
in the
Soldier
deck
of
now.
Fortune that's been reskinned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Okay,
it's
I couldn't
clearly a
remember
Warrior
this.
Cow. Look, it's wearing a helmet. It's ready to
Yeah.
fight. It's ready to throw down.
I think I'm currently going up against that cow deck
Nice.
with Evelyn in command, or Evely in command,
Yeah.
and they tried to. I mean, they used a wealthy noble, and I
Oh,
hit it
Oh,
with
no.
a flame dawn commando.
Whoops. That kind of hurts. Alright, let's try out this new.
please. No.
Oh, they have sound effects to use this guy. It's good.
Yeah, all the cards have sound effects now. It's pretty nice. It makes me feel alive. Feel emotions and things. Pretty nice.
Alright, we've joined the queue. We're gonna try this out. New deck time.
I'm playing against Gamepedia.
Yep.
Oh, sweet. I found Patreon access. Dope.
Hog. Let's go, dude.
Bit late for that, but cool. I appreciate it nonetheless.
It's tried.
Don't know how good this deck is. Seems questionable.
Oh, Jesus. Turn one time for fun. I'm not keen on this.
That sounds painful.
I'm scared.
You should be scared. You're moving on down.
Shut the hell up. Stop. Sadly,
All the
chat,
right
I'm not currently streaming because I have
moves.
D&D in like half an hour, but I'm currently fighting Mew.
Nice.
By the by. I'm currently gonna lose to cows.
I told you, 80%
Cows-
win rate.
Cows were a mistake. I'm just gonna say it. We should never.
I agree.
Never,
You're saying
never
it
have
now.
made cows.
Look, they
When you
thought
say cows are a mistake.
Cows were a
that he
mistake.
was a madman.
I don't mean in the
Cows-
game. I mean just in real life. We shouldn't have made cows.
Nah, cows are
I
great.
mean,
They taste
it
wonderful.
wasn't our It wasn't our choice. Blame evolution. Or God. Pick your pick.
No, it was our choice. We made cows.
God or science has failed us. Whatever you believe in, you shouldn't.
Do you have faith? Don't.
Yeah.
Don't just be atheist, be anti-theist.
I don't believe in not believing in nothing.
Exactly.
Person also extirpated the wrong thing. Okay, well, that was your one chance to live. You can get rid of it.
What is life but a miserable pile of secrets?
No, that's a man. as well as a featherless biped with flat nails.
What are flat nails?
But a miserable
Well-
pile of secrets.
Yes.
I don't have an opponent. He's gone. I'm gonna go back in the queue.
Hold on. Wait a moment. I will go into queue against you, Jason.
Oh shit, let's throw down.
I'm ready. I'm in the queue.
Why did
Join
No
the
More
queue,
Heroes
waiting for
not
player.
kill what's her face before? I'm
It
confused.
did.
Then why did my devil not deadly anything?
Because I used Firebolt on it.
Oh,
Waiting
I
out.
didn't see that. I literally don't see. I can't even see the fire. Oh, there, it's up here. Okay.
Everything is gray because I made this deck when I didn't have my cards and I can't be bothered to re-add everything to get my
That's-
cosmetics.
That is literally the reason all my stuff is gray as well.
See, I'm doing this on my laptop, so I had to make my deck this evening.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty
if
sure
you
I got
own
you,
a
right? Yeah,
card,
math, I
it
got you.
shouldn't give you the grayscale version at all unless you specifically opt into the grayscale version.
Well, that's the thing because it
Yeah.
remembers your premium quality when you make the deck, and I made the
Yeah.
deck on grayscale because it was when my account was bugged and I had no cards.
Oh,
Mhm.
right.
Same.
So
Have you tried
unless I
re-importing?
remake the deck,
I could export then import the
Yeah.
deck, and that would probably.
That's
fix it, but
what
I'm
I've been
lazy.
told works.
Actually, I'm gonna try
a
that
lot.
and see if that works. Hold on.
It's not 100%. It has failed for me sometimes, but it generally works.
so Jason,
Yo,
what changes excite you the most in the patch notes?
I mean, I am curious to see this new dragon and like setting up for a potential like curated style of deck with it, but that's like the only thing that leapt out to me is like, oh, awesome! This is opening up opportunity. Like there are some things I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. But, like that was the one thing that like excited me. There's a bunch of other things that I'm not so keen on. I'm gonna be talking to people behind the scenes and seeing if the change is appropriate, which I hope it is.
No, I found a player better than myself.
Oh,
You'll be fine. Wait, maybe not. Wait, hold on. I
Well,
don't know how
loads.
this matchup goes.
I
have
think
no
I
idea
might
how
be
this goes.
glitched. It's not queuing me into anyone. Just
Yeah,
like,
it took a while.
time for fun is a lie. We've been lied to.
I thought we
Rude.
banned time for fun.
We've been had.
I'm going to quickly close the game and reopen it. So I'm going to quickly throw everybody on the stream to a little advertisement. Today's stream is sponsored by us.
Are you tired of trying to play your games and being stuck waiting for an opponent to make their move? Are their turns taking so long that you can prepare a 3-course meal in the time that it takes for their turn to process? Well, luckily, the future scientific minds at Lightman Studios have devised a great new system, Simultaneous Turns. Now, while your opponent is making their turn, you're making your turn at the same time, and everything resolves at once. Use this to outplay, outsmart, and outmaneuver your opponents. For more information and to get involved, check out InfinityWarsClassic.com.
I sure wouldn't, but somebody might be somewhere.
Someone.
I wouldn't be
someone.
happy,
Seems
but
to be my victory.
Oh, that was the intro cinematic that now plays at the start. Yay. Dude, I spent so much time on that. I'm so glad it went that
actually
way.
watch that intro cinematic.
One of these days.
We
these
spent
days.
like 6 months to a year making that, just like little bit by little bit. It was never a focus. It was just like, oh, our artist doesn't have anything to do this week. Work on the intro cinematic for a bit. And like, I'm so glad that it came out the way it did. Like,
Who did the voice
Well, it's my
acting?
turn. You
so we had
ran
2
Sakura
voice actors
Sakura.
for that. One of them, which is the first voice you hear, was the original voice of Candid from 2012.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. I'm surprised
neat.
you could get them again.
Yeah, and the second one was a voice actor that I found that had a lot of range and a lot of promise to play specifically Candid the Demonic. And you know, you start hearing the first voice that kind of segues into both, and by the end, it's just the second one, who is now Candid. And like,
That's cool.
yeah, I thought it was real fucking rad the way it came together.
I'm really disappointed new Rita turned out the way it is. Because Kanda got such a nice card, plays to infinity with strength's really nice, and then there's Rita, which is just generic black FTG card.
There's
Which doesn't
Rita?
even work well in our game.
You say Rita?
Yeah, Rita, the new one, that
Rita.
Rita. Right.
the new one. What's her
Yeah.
Rita
what's her
Unshackled.
title? Yeah, she's terrible. She
Poor
really is.
Barista, guys. Poor Barista, man. He was bad.
What deck was I playing?
Well, let's see how this
Petition
goes.
to change Rita's name to Barista forever.
I play Barista in attack mode.
Please.
She does nothing.
Nah, dude, she makes
It
coffee.
wasn't
which
very
no,
effective.
yo, Barista character. It makes coffee in your hand. You play coffee. It gives character in your hand charge.
I think
Or
if it's
face.
coffee, it's just a tinker basically. Except if you leave it in your hand for 2 turns, it disappears because the coffee's gone cold. It's like a fleeting card sort of thing.
Do we have?
Your first
Could
hit,
we
it
have a
returns to your
mechanic
hand,
that's
you
like?
gotta build
Wait,
it. This is
wait,
nice.
hold up, real fast. Because of how Candid, not Candid, Rita? No, Candid.
New
Okay.
How
Candid.
New Candid works. Can we have that tech to be like card stays in hand for X amount of turns, then kills itself?
I think if we start seeing more cards with that, we'll convert it into a keyword. There is some hesitancy to standardize a lot of things that are in 1 to 5 cards and make them keywords, because the more keywords there are specifically, the more it's going to be difficult for people to learn every single keyword. And while the tooltip update that we recently had is doing a lot of good for that, it's still a decision that we have to be conscious of having negative repercussions that we need to take into account. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure too. Soul can't heal. Yeah, no, you have no healing. Healing doesn't exist for you, Ben. Okay, cool.
Look. Are
Yeah.
you sure?
Yes,
Are you sure? I'm not running
Yes.
this deck in this heal card?
no one runs the one heal card. I know what it is. Nobody runs that.
Oh, there
Yeah,
is
some
one?
people
There
run
was?
Tech Engineer. He's okay.
There's like 2 or 3 cards that actually heal, and nobody runs them.
There's Tech Engineer.
There's that one soul card that I forget the name of.
Adaptive Drone. Adaptive Drone. That's a card
Not-
that heals.
Yeah, no, I
Adaptive
haven't-
Drone's really good, actually.
Yeah, drone is good, but no, the 4 cost spell.
Serena, Champion of Life.
I'd like to take the floor for a
Yeah,
minute.
this is just going to become a draw.
So
Yes.
Tipperax mentions that ad was delightful. Thank you so much. I very much enjoyed it. Making it, that is. I do have a half-completed script for another ad that's basically going to keep faking out and name dropping big time content sponsors and supporters in the YouTube area and industry,
Raid Shadow Legend.
and then keep looping back to Infinity Wars and how that would be really funny and really cool. And because we've got the custom card thing, I'm going to be making a deck out of just sponsors.
Okay.
I'm gonna play NordVPN as my location, so now I can view content on international Netflix.
That's awesome.
Just a dumb shit like that.
I wonder if I should edit that deck to put in some.
I see your beard oil and raise you a Manscaped subscription. I reckon that it's got some potential. It's going to be funny. I do need to be careful with using brand names and using actual logos from other brands, because
Does it not fall under parody?
Just
it
do, legally
can,
distinct
but
ones.
also
So
parody
plan-
laws are really weak and flimsy, and if we
Yep.
get a serious lawsuit thrown at us, even if we're in the right, we're going to have to waste a lot of resources proving that we're right, and that's just not something we can.
You can't do that.
Yeah, we
Even
can't
if you
do
win,
that.
you lost.
Yeah, exactly. One of the reasons that we haven't reached out, because originally, Coil had a cool idea to reach out to the people at Marvel and be like, hey, let's do some crossovers and stuff, and that idea was a good idea for about a day, and then he was like, hold on. Our game, while technically we're allowed to have, and we own the copyright in Australia to Infinity Wars, the trading card game, if they try and take us to court for that, it's going to ruin us. And even if we win that, Marvel has billions of dollars of legal fees. We could barely scrape $1 million if we
It'd be like the Chapter House lawsuit.
Yeah.
Games Workshop may have lost, but they sued Chapter House is still out of business because they could not afford 7 years of court fees.
They could not afford to keep up the fight. And
I'm
also,
about to be completely obliterated by a double Angels deck. Wish me luck.
Yeah. What kind of moron would be running this?
Who can say?
Now, Jason, I want you
Good
to
luck,
describe all of your plays on stream.
Anyway, goodbye, gamers.
Okay.
Good luck, gamers. I have to go play D&D.
Have a
All
great
right,
D&D,
adios.
dude. Thank you for joining
hopefully.
us.
Yep, peace.
Catch. I like that game PDA guy.
Yeah.
He's
Nice
good.
fella.
Alright, so I just played out Little Timmy Bot, and I already have a Tempest flying and they're attacking me. Alright, I hope that was good enough. Or do you want me telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you should do that.
I just realized everybody here almost was on the balance team at one point or another.
it? Essentially. Oh, Kevcast was with us for a bit. I don't think he's been on
True
the
enough.
balance team.
I feel like although Gamepedia is not as good of a player as like Jin or me or Merlin, having him on the balance team adds a lot because it gives you a very unique perspective, similar to that of your own Jason.
Yeah.
Because like the top guys don't necessarily see something like the Hiniki draw lock as a problem. But having more normal players can make that more apparent.
The Forerunner of Champions is now out.
And there's more where that came from.
I don't like this. I want to get the resources here. What do I do?
Well, that's a nice Brings Life by passing, by the way.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Be a shame if something happened to it. Not that I'm going to do anything to it, but like, if you play it out, it will die.
You're gonna do something to it. It's not like you have a commando with a fucking command zone.
It's a commanding commando. Who commands respect.
I am scared.
Command Zone Commandos are great.
It really is.
You don't even have to play it for it to be good.
Indeed.
Ooh, gold corner sounds nice.
Yep. I mean, you knew I was an old man.
But you're like 20, Ben.
I'm in my upper 20s now, but old is a state of being, you know?
I see.
It's not the age is just a number, and the fact of the matter is I've studied the past tense for long enough that I can just call myself old. Oh no, you killed my character.
Age is just a number, and your number's big. Sorry, I love you. How do I do this?
There was a card game that I used to play, and I still have, and one of the special attacks you could get, one of the combos, involved dealing damage equal to your opponent's age. You had 20 life. So I have finally I have long been in the point where that is a lethal attack.
Nice.
I gotta ask, what game is that?
That was the Anything Goes Battle and Battle card game, which was based off of Adventure Quest Worlds, made by Artix Entertainment, who you may or may not know of.
Can't say I'm familiar with it, actually.
Unmatched in size. That's quite pesky.
Alright, it worked.
Well, that was rude, Jason.
True. But screw you.
Might be running out of steam here.
Also, did you give Forerunner or Champions another life or something? Because
I had Cassiel out,
oh, I see.
so Cassiel ate the hit
Okay, nice,
and
nice.
died.
Oh,
Okay.
alright. So the location for Berg needs some changes and fixes.
It's nasty.
Something that I kind of dislike about recent changes is there's been a lot more generalization of the factions. Like, DoD lost it super strong early game, and their mid games got shored up a lot, so they don't have the tempo point quite as much as they used to, which I think is kind of a shame, because it leads to the factions feeling a lot more similar.
Yeah, it used to be you could hold on for a little bit, and then you had to hope that it held you through the mid game, so you could get to your late game.
Yeah, and now DoD doesn't really have any of that.
Oh, sorry, stream. Yeah. Also, I say sorry, stream, not to the people in the chat, because I'm pushed to talk. They don't hear me unless I want them to. Alright. So, if one of these two cards can blip that away, I'm dead. But I've got reach.
Oh,
Oof. That might be it. Give me something.
okay.
Oh my god. No
That
way.
character alive.
No way. No way.
Do you have another hulking sniper, Jason?
I mean, there's definitely one more in the deck. I might have to go digging. I'm gonna move that there just in case, actually. If he blips that away in something with charge and buffalo.
Yep. Found it.
Found it. Top decked it too.
That's good. That's good. Where'd all those come from? Oh. That looks nasty.
Jason,
Yes.
what do you think is the strongest deck in the game?
I mean, I don't want to say Medi/Extirpate despite its recent tournament win, because like that is definitely up there, and just the fact that it has access to so much, and like I think one of the biggest things about it is that it punishes people for learning the intricacies of, you know, what factions have access to what, and throws it out the window, which is, you know, a real punishing thing for even, you know, the elite players to have to deal with, which is unfortunate. I want to say that 2 COV and 1... Not Flame Dawn, no. Actually, now it actually might be Double Overseer's Flame Dawn, with the recent changes that went through, actually.
I think that it's a solid claim for them.
Hmm.
Greedy Ransacker buff really helped them a lot, and Fire Ascension is still a hugely powerful card.
Hmm.
Yep.
What do you think?
Especially with the recent COV nerf to Aether Acolyte, I would actually agree with you and go with 2 Flame Dawn Overseers of Solons. I think their rush potential is very high. And like I just said, the Greedy Ransacker buff did so much to help the faction, along with nerfs to other counters that were running rampant, like looping Tybalt in Dojo. Triple Overseers of Solons is also a lot weaker than it was, which was probably the best rush deck at the time of the tournament, due to the Forerunner change.
Well, we'll see if I can win this one out. You got any more reach blockers? Because I foolishly did not include any whatever. No, that's a 2 Flame Dog card. Never mind. We'll see if I can push through this last 2 damage. I definitely think that this is not the best that this deck can be. I'm just sort of fiddling around with it. You know.
Okay, and now for some bullshit. Oh, you have bought your own bullshit, good sir. I see, I see. Well, I think that it means it's a tie, unless something else happens here.
Do you have enough damage to kill me?
Everything is doubled. So yes, probably. I didn't bother doing the math. I just figured that, you know, once it hits the hundreds, I'm probably okay.
That is for blockers. Oh yeah, that's probably enough to kill me.
Just. Only 62 over. GG, well played.
Indeed, and I still managed to get that last 2 damage in.
You blipped away my 1 reach guy. You did well.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I got time for probably one more game. Let's see what deck we should play this time. Should we go cows, maybe?
So in the 3 games I've played against other people tonight, this deck has gone 1, 0, and 2.
Okay. Ooh. Oh shit!
am
I actually hate
undefeated
Spirit
against you.
Guide. Yeah. Cool. I like that. That's good. That's nice.
Well, it's been fun. It's been real, as they say.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, man.
It was nice to have the opportunity to remind myself why I enjoy this game.
Yeah.
Because against the AI does not do it, but against other people does.
Mm. Hopefully we can get some new balance changes in the right direction and make things a little more evenly matched across the decks and factions and stuff.
The
We shall
funny
see.
thing is, I built that deck because of the new change to the angel that gives all other angels haste. And I didn't even run it.
Oops.
Because I'm like, you know what? I'm too low to the ground for this. Anyhow, have
Fair.
a nice night or rest of your day if you're living in the Upside Down.
Cool.
Adios.
Okay. Alright, 4. Okay, do this. I don't want that right now, so I'm gonna shuffle that away. That's actually decent. Decent, we take those. Oh, that's annoying. It's gonna live. I don't want that. Oh, I cut him back. Sweet. Zephyr, copy that. Eight 12. 8-12. 8-12. I don't want to take more morale damage, so I'm gonna fireball that next turn, I think. Cool. Sweet. Bonk. Cool. This? Question mark? Oh. Poorly ordered. That's okay. Control. Ooh, nice. Okay, now Zephyr, bring him out. Time Stopper. Or 9. Let's go 9. Oh jeez, he's gonna get another one. Wait, 17, half. No, that's not gonna work. Heck. Alright, alright. Mm-hmm. Pay 1 on you. Doink. You? No. 10. 14. 10. What? Oh. Just a visual log. Okay. Dang it. Alright. Gonna have to fireball that now. Goddamn avatar of Yuanchi. Alright, lost 3. Double Commando, that's good. Give me that. Get some more Commandos going. Bonk. Bonk. You. Upgrade you. Bonk. 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 I'm just gonna let him hit me with that. That's okay. It is what it is. And I think we shuffle away everything. Extirpate. Nice. That's some bullshit. We're okay with that. Alright. Extirpate you. Plus 1 on that. More cows. Oh my god, this is the power of cows. I've got no cards in hand, but I got so many cows on the field. Oh my god. This is kind of nutty. Just a little bit. That's okay. I'm just gonna extirpate that away. Alright. Okay, how many Cowmando? I got plenty of Cowmandos. Give me another one. Oh, Commando. Oh jeez, that's a lot of defenders, but we've got so many Commandos. Oh no! That's the Commando that got silenced! That's tragic! No! Well, $12. Pay 2. Draw. Ooh. that. I can't not deal with that. Oh no! Wait, my firebolt's still gonna do it. Alright, cool, cool. Sweet. Oh no, my silenced commando. You. You. Do I have any 7-cost factionless things that aren't extirpate? Like monsters? Nope. Also, it's weird seeing those cards back there like that. That's strange. Strange. Oh, you can see him over there too. Weird. I'm just gonna play you because I can. Alright, the moo made me feel better. We lose this game, but we win the moo. Dup, dup, and that's game. GG, my man. I felt like I had actually like some level of power and agency in that for some of that, which was kind of weird. Out of curiosity, which factions do y'all feel have the least crossover? A lot of period combos have a card that kind of represents overlap. A hunt of fly units for Doom, DCOE. Having no crossovers. So I think for example, Exiles and Flame Dawn doesn't have a whole lot of crossover. Warpath and Overseers is also relatively new as a thing. Like, we've only just released the first one of those cards recently, I think. So yeah, there's a bunch of different factions that need a little bit of love there, unfortunately. But you know, we'll get to those. Get to them in time. Alright. We will be ending our stream here for today, so if you're watching the VOD, hope you're having a fantastic time. Hope everything's going good for you. Hope you're not as sick as I am. Sorry about all the sneezing and coughing. Yeah, it's a good stream. It's good to be back. Hopefully I can do more and get more back, because I'm trying to take it easy as I'm still recovering, but also there's so much to do. I just want to get it done. Thanks for stream. Glad to hear you're not completely dying and all that. Yep, very important. You want to make sure that your favorite community manager is at least breathing. Everything else is optional. Breathing is relatively necessary. Alright, let's recover quickly, mate. I'm trying. I can't just recover quicker. It's not that simple. I'm definitely trying, yeah. I reckon it's time we jump into a quick raid though. So if you're watching the VOD, the stream's pretty much over. Go watch a different video or something. We are going to raid someone though. We got a random VTuber streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! What else we got? There's people streaming Marvel Snap now. We should maybe go say hi to them. Marvel Snap's a pretty new game. I reckon we go say hi to someone random here. Let's find someone who speaks English. just as a note, I don't know these people and what their views are, so this isn't an endorsement, all that stuff, you know the drill. You gotta actually say that now, because like the whole PewDiePie thing went down. Like, you know, if you shout out someone's content, it's like you're endorsing their views. That's not what's happening. We're just gonna go check out their content together. You know the drill. Read. What? What? It wants... Alright, Jesus, fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it over here. That's easier. Whatever. You're being rude to me. I'm doing it this way then. I'm gonna go here. Where's my channel? Here it is. Alright. There we go. We're gonna jump in, say hi, check out this new game. I'm gonna watch, see what the new game's all about and stuff, because I haven't had the chance to play it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is. I hope it's a good one, and we'll see you on the next one.